בבלווה לנצח זכורנה את שמותינו בבלווה בדרך אל העיר.
Every time I reach this part of the road, I find myself humming this song. I was a young boy when it was first sung in the days when Israel was founded and the Arab-Israeli conflict had broken out into open war.
The song is called Bab el Wad, which is the Arab name for this valley. In English it would be the Valley Gate. In Hebrew it's Sha'ar Agai. The song is dedicated to those youngsters, boys and girls, who in 1948 tried to break through with supply, with convoys of supply, to the besieged city of Jerusalem, which was surrounded then by Arabs. Those convoys were ambushed right here, and many trucks were burnt. A great number of those boys and girls haven't reached the city. Well, the siege was finally broken, and the burnt-out lorries have been kept here at the roadside as a memorial to those young people. Now, thank God, the road to Jerusalem is open to everyone. The olive trees that stand in silence upon the hills of a time, to hear the voices of the city as bells of evening chime. The shofar calling from the temple to call the world to prayer. The shepherd pauses in the valley and peace is everywhere. Jerusalem, forever young yet forever old, my heart will sing your songs of glory. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, a city with a heart of gold, my heart will sing your songs of glory. Jerusalem, the cobblestones forever sleeping, where pilgrims trod for years, to reach a wall where men stand weeping, to pray for peace with tears. It's been known as the city of David, Zion, the city of light, Jerusalem the golden. It means so many things to so many people. The Western Wall, the remains of our Second Temple, is close to the hearts of Jews everywhere. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built where Jesus was crucified, is sacred to Christians the world over. And Muslims look to the Dome of the Rock, where their Prophet Muhammad was raised to heaven. Jerusalem, O city with a heart of gold, my heart will sing your songs of glory. Jerusalem.
Shalom.
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 Once a year, a sort of open house, a multinational get-together, is held around the walls of the old city. And all the sects, creeds and races who live here side by side are represented. The host is my friend Teddy Kollek, who has been mayor of Israel's capital city for 18 years. Don't ask me how, but Teddy manages to serve the interests of Russians, Copts, Greeks, Ethiopians, Muslims, Catholics, Jews. They all belong. And many, the Armenians, for example, you'll be surprised, have been settled in this city for over 1,500 years. So you can imagine what it's like to run a city whose people have such conflicting traditions, attitudes, and requirements, where education alone means setting up schools for over 100,000 children who speak dozens of different languages. Well, sooner him than me, I can tell you. Teddy and I have been friends for nearly 30 years. He has had a lifelong passion for the arts, and we have spent a great deal of time together, usually along with another mutual friend, Danny Kay. Wherever we are, whatever we are doing, Teddy lives, eats, and breathes Jerusalem. And right now, I'm dragging him away from the handshakes so he can tell us some of the realities he faces when dealing with such a fantastic mixture of peoples.
They all want to continue their culture. If you have a mixed city in America, the people who came in yesterday from Puerto Rico, or a generation ago from Poland or Italy, they will all speak tomorrow English. Here, the Armenians came here in the 4th century when the then kingdom of Armenia became a Christian kingdom in order to give proof to the fact that Christian Armenians or Armenian Christians living in the city of Christ, and that they want to continue. They didn't want to become Turks, and didn't want to become British, and didn't want to become Arabs, and they don't want to become Israelis. They want to preserve their culture, live around their patriarch, and around the smell of their food, and around the sound of their language, and in their quarters, where they feel they are in Armenia. But this is not a melting pot, not even a monoculture. It's a mosaic. We try to give everybody the feeling that he's an equal citizen.
And do you have to cater to all of them?
And we try to help everybody. But there are problems you have to live with. You have a living city. There are maybe 20,000 football fans here. And they want to see their weekly soccer game. And to very religious Jews, this means a return to Hellenism, the time when Greek culture was brought here and drove out the people from the temple, and the temple stopped being holy. So you have to have a half compromise. You have to build the football pit somewhere where it's not too close to them. And tell them that, look, you can't force such things. If you will educate people so that everybody will be religious one day, maybe this will happen only when the Messiah will come, and people will stop playing football, you won't have a football pit. But meanwhile, if you want to live quietly your own life and people respect you, you must let them live their lives. And I think Jerusalem has done about all these things more: relations between Jews and Arabs, relations between Orthodox and secular, relations between Western Jews and Jews from Muslim countries, more than in many other places where you have a mixture of cultures. And I sincerely believe that out of all this, a great culture will emerge. But that doesn't happen fast. You know, we have waited to come back for 2,000 years. Now we're here again. So it will take us 100 years to solve these problems. There's no harm done. People come from the outside, let's say from New York, and say, when will you solve your problems? I can only tell them one thing: I'm sure we'll solve them before New York will solve its problems.
It's a Friday and Jerusalem is in a mad rush as usual, because the Sabbath, or Shabbat, will soon be upon us. From sunset to sunset, street life in Jewish districts will come to a standstill. In one very Orthodox district called Mea Shearim, the streets will soon be completely closed to traffic, and the Shabbat tradition will be observed as it was by my forefathers in the villages of Eastern Europe 2 centuries ago. Remember, there is no work allowed on the Shabbat, not even making a cup of tea or switching on a car engine. all must stop. Now, I have many friends who observe the Shabbat rituals to the letter. One of them, who we used to call Pupik, surprised us all a few years ago when he gave up the stage and turned to religion.
If you don't mind, we'll speak a little bit in English. I'm very privileged to be taken by Rabbi Arnon around Jerusalem today. Rabbi Arnon was an actor. We appeared together, but since then he has changed his appearance and his lifestyle. He seems to be very happy now.
Like me like that?
Yes, I like you very much like that. But the main thing is agreed to take me along with him to see how he and his family prepare for the Shabbat, which I'm sure we'll all enjoy. We did 2 films together. We did El Dorado.
Was the first.
Yes, and we did Salah. Shall we buy something? We did Salah together. Mattel.
First, we have to get those last bits of shopping. We've bought already some kosher meat. Now we'll get some fruit for the family. And all this time, I'm trying to get used to the idea that Rabbi Arnon has changed so much.
What did you play there?
We played Midsummer Night's Dream.
It's a nice dream. And what did you play? Ah, of course.
What, of course? Oberon.
Pack you played.
Now to the local fish shop, because Shabbat just wouldn't be Shabbat without gefilte fish.
Arnon, how do we get in the tradition to the minced fish?
To mince it, because you don't allow to take out the bones on Shabbos. It's
Oh,
forbidden work.
I see, because it's work.
Yeah.
So you should have just pleasure while you eat on the Shabbat. So you take out the bones before the Shabbat, then you mince it.
You mince the bones too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always suspected that there is another reason to it as well, because while you mince the fish, you can add to it bread and onions and the bones and eggs, which would make a small fish go a long way. So you could feed a large family with a small fish.
Good reason.
Good reason. Thank you. Shalom.
We must hurry. Friday is a short day and the shops close early. Everyone is dashing about getting in the last bits and pieces and hurrying home to wash and put on Sabbath clothes, all before the last rays of sunlight fall across the city. Cleanliness is everything. The streets are washed. The men go to ritual bathhouses. More important, the mind is cleansed in readiness.
These 3 blocks you see here was the first.
This is your house?
Yeah, up there.
But Rabbi Arnon lives in Sharei Chesed, a neighborhood nowhere near as orthodox. But he still asked us not to break any of their laws and not to film his children or the face of his wife as they make final preparations for Shabbat.
With a world but a shadow, a darkness that grieved for the light of the sun to be cast. The earth was created, the heavens achieved, and the oceans were finished at last. A moment of silence, a time of peace, a time of rest, to reflect upon all that was done. As the first star appeared, and their week's endeavor was blessed, so the Sabbath with the hope was begun.
I do feel that you feel different today. So can you tell me what's the difference today for you when you say Sabbath?
What do you mean Shabbos? It's unexplainable. It's something you can touch or you can see. It's not a material, it's something spiritually. The peaceful, the time that you rest. You don't have to work, you don't have to do anything, everything is prepared. You don't supposed to light the lights. there's automatically clock which move and turn it on and off. You don't allow to boil water or food. It's all have to be done before, and you have to eat it and enjoy it like it's been done by itself. Because if you are doing all your life the same things and you're not stop, you never know what's the feeling sitting by a table with your family, with the children, singing, you're learning Torah here. You're teaching them, they're telling you what they learn in school. And it takes a few hours every meal. There's 3 meals in Shabbos. On Friday night, Shabbos morning, and one before sunset, before Shabbos is going out. And can you imagine, you're sitting all these 3 meals, peaceful, enjoyful, with the family, with everybody. It's all the neighborhood like that. No cars, no noise, no smoke. Or upside down, it's clean. The ears are clean, the mind is clean, the street is clean, the heart is clean. You're not thinking about making more money or making more for... you stop, you know, now it's like forever. You want this moment to keep forever, this time, these 24 hours, Shabbos. It's something like the next world, Me'ein Olam Haba.
Well, we'll leave you before sunset so your wife can light the candles peacefully, and I really wish you a very peaceful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom to you.
Shabbos.
כל שומר שבת כדת מחללו, שכרו הרבה מאוד על כפולו, איש על מחנהו ואיש על רגלו.
Shavuot, the Shabbat is out now, and here's a lineup of the programs coming your way. In a moment...
At sunset, the Shabbat goes out. And it might come as a surprise to you, but Jerusalem can let its hair down from time to time. It is also a university town at heart, fresh, youthful, and full of fun.
We've coverage of today's game against
Chiribim, chiribom, chiribim, bom, 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 bom. Chiribim, chiribom, chiribim, bom, 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 bom. Chiribiri, biri, 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 bom, bom, bom. Chiribiri, biri, 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 bim, chiribim, bom, 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 bom.
There's music and Hasidic dancing from Jerusalem. Then we're joining Opera Haza for a program of popular...
Chiribim, chiribom, chiribiri, biri, bom, badam. Chiribim, chiribom, chiribim, bom, 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 bom. Chiribiri, biri, 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 bom, bom, bom. Chiribiri, biri, 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 bim, chiribim, bom, 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 bom.
That's not includes different times during that time.
Why? Because it's the feast of the duty to Mr. Eichel.
The Z-Tov is no mate. Shavuot no lovely. What do I need?
So what's that mean? So what? He's going to get half an hour?
But he wants the whole thing.
And he's not going to walk in the back and make a shvuah, which contradicts what he actually is claiming.
Why is he possibly...
I often visit this place when I come to Jerusalem, not only because friends of mine like Rabbi Arnon study here, but because I'm always fascinated by its teaching methods. This is the Or Sameach College of Jewish Law, and teachers and students bash their intellects against one another in brainstorming sessions which demand every last ounce of concentration and mental agility. But more important, the students come here from all over the world to acquire or to refresh their links with the Jewish heritage.
Jack, can we introduce you to somebody?
Hi, Jack. Hi,
I'm Topol, Jack from Toronto.
Exactly who you are. What are you studying now? I apologize for studying. Baba Mitzia, we can study together. How long have you been here?
About 2.5 months.
And why did you decide to join this club?
It wasn't because of their lunch. Well, I'm from Toronto, from Canada, and I was selling land, real estate, and I had an opportunity to come. I just felt that there was a need to understand authentic Judaism, and there's really not an opportunity to do that in Canada. So I decided to come here and give myself the chance to do it.
And you feel you're getting it here?
Very much so, yeah. It's quite interesting. Slowly but surely, I'm really learning the basics of what Judaism was always about and what it is today.
Well, when you know, tell us.
I sure will.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
But no Jew can come to Jerusalem without paying his or her respects at a place which represents the most tragic chapter of Jewish history.
This is Yad Vashem. It was built to commemorate the 6 million Jews who found their death in the Holocaust in Europe. We who were born here, probably like you, have asked ourselves many times, how could it happen that no one came to their help? At the time, many Israelis joined the Allied forces to fight the Nazis, and among them was a young 19-year-old girl called Hannah Senesh. She was a member of a kibbutz, and she joined the British Army, was trained as a parachutist, and then dropped behind the German lines. She was captured in Hungary, tortured. She's never returned, but she left us this wonderful song she wrote.
Well, our visit to Jerusalem is just about over. But before we part, we have one more experience in store. It's December right now, and the eyes of the Jewish and Christian worlds turn towards Jerusalem or nearby Bethlehem. Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you about Christmas, but Hanukkah, well, the festival commemorates the repurification of our holy temple after the Greeks desecrated it 2,500 years ago. Christmas and Hanukkah often run side by side. Both are family occasions. And my wife and my children and my sisters and nephews and nieces are already at my parents' home. So why should I miss out on a party?
Semibonia